In a world of billions, there exists a handful of individuals so rare, so extraordinary, that their very existence feels unreal. These people were born with features, abilities, and conditions that defy reason and challenge everything we understand about the human body. From jaw-dropping appearances to once-in-a-million features, their stories are both captivating and unforgettable. Get ready, because these are the 15 strange-looking people you won't believe exist. Number 15. Ricardo Bonitez. This 25-year-old young man from Texas was born without femurs, which is basically a condition so rare it left his legs unusually short. Growing up, everything seemed like hell. Watching other kids run, jump, and play while he struggled just to keep up took its toll. He felt like the world had been built without him in mind. But with time came a shift. Ricardo stopped trying to move like everyone else and started figuring out what worked for him. He began adapting, training, and pushing forward on his own terms. Eventually, he completed a full marathon, an achievement few ever reach, regardless of ability. "I may not run like others," he said, "but I'll always give it everything I've got." Now his sights are set on something even tougher: the Ironman competition. Ricardo isn't chasing sympathy from people, he's chasing goals. He's not trying to prove anything to the world. He's just living the way he always knew he could. He is unique. Number 14. Tony Perkins. Tony Perkins has lived with keloid scars since he was 9 years old. These creepy, thick, raised patches of scar tissue have covered parts of his face and body, making everyday life harder than most people can imagine. Well, keloids aren't dangerous, but they're visible, and that visibility changed how the beauty-obsessed world saw him. Tony, now believed to be in his 60s, lives in St. Louis, Missouri, and works as a youth mentor at Roosevelt High School's Boys and Girls After-School Club. For many kids, he's more than a staff member. He's a lifeline. They don't see scars. They see someone who listens, shows up, and cares. Tony often says the teenagers he works with have saved him, not the other way around. His story isn't about defeat. It's about showing up every day when it would have been easier to disappear. The world hasn't always been kind to him, but the people who know him, they see what actually matters. Number 13. Tanya Misenbach. In December 2018, Tanya Misenbach's life changed in seconds. A fire pit accident left her with fourth-degree burns covering 35% of her upper body. She was placed in a coma for 2 months, with doctors unsure if she'd ever wake up. But Tanya did wake up, and she decided not to hide. Now living in Georgia, she's turned to social media, not just to share her story, but to reclaim control over it. She films makeup tutorials, not to cover the scars, but to celebrate what she has. "It's only makeup," she said, "but it's also a statement. I survived." Her first post brought empowerment. Each one since has helped build confidence, brick by brick. Tanya knows she'll never look like she used to, but she's also not trying to. Her scars carry the memory of survival. Her face didn't get burned off. It carried her through hell and back, and she wears it with pride. Number 12. Asia Williams and India Walls. We've talked a lot about twins in our previous videos, but these two sisters, Asia and India, aren't here to match. They're here to stand out. Born with Treacher-Collins syndrome, a rare genetic condition that affects facial bones, vision, and hearing, these two from Marion, Ohio, have faced stares, comments, and cruelty since day one. But their mother, Nicole, who also has the syndrome, taught them something far louder than the noise: self-worth. And they've carried that lesson like armor. At 29 and 27, Asia and India don't just exist. They show up, loud and proud. After years of bullying, they went online, sharing their faces, voices, and truth with the world. Their platform isn't about pity, it's about presence. They want others with TCS to see themselves and know they aren't alone. Beauty doesn't come from symmetry. It comes from owning who you are. And these sisters wear that truth better than any filter ever could. Number 11. Ryan Hudson Peralta. Ryan Hudson Peralta was born with congenital limb deficiency, which is a rare condition that left him with shortened legs and underdeveloped arms without hands. He stands just 3 feet 6 inches tall, but what stands out most is his drive. Now 45, Ryan is a devoted father, husband, and relentless advocate for adaptive fitness. From his home in Michigan, he's transformed his basement into a fully functional gym. There's no fancy equipment, just a mini trampoline, weights, and resistance bands. His workouts are practical, focused, and tailored to his body. He doesn't train for looks. He trains to stay strong enough to live life on his terms. Because I sit all day, he explains, I have to move as much as I can. It's hard to lose weight, but I try every day. Ryan doesn't chase attention. He shares what works for him, hoping someone else sees what's possible. For him, exercise isn't just about fitness. It's about freedom and longevity. Number 10. Christopher Hebert. CJ was born with 2 rare bone conditions, proximal femoral focal deficiency and multiple hereditary exostoses. One left him without a right femur. The other caused bone tumors to form throughout his body. For years, the pain and physical limits shaped every part of his life. But CJ made a bold decision. He underwent rotationplasty, a surgery that removed his leg but reattached his foot in a way that let it function as a knee inside a prosthetic. Most people wouldn't even consider it. CJ embraced it. The difference it made was enormous. For the first time, movement felt more natural. Confidence returned. He leaned into fitness, built strength, and rebuilt his sense of self. Alongside him through it all has been his fiancée, Mackenzie Eisenbrown, whose support he credits just as much as any surgery. CJ's story isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to show up anyway and finding purpose through hellish pain. Number 9. Rosie. Rosie, from Malaysia, first experienced signs of psoriasis at age 9. What started as a single flare-up quickly spread into painful open wounds across her body. For years, she hid beneath long sleeves, struggling with both physical pain and self-esteem. Some days, she'd spend hours in bed crying, not from weakness, but exhaustion. Eventually, Rosie discovered the healing power of nutrition and self-care. She created So Good, a holistic coaching platform for others dealing with skin conditions. Slowly, her mindset shifted. Instead of hiding her skin, she began posting unfiltered photos on Instagram. The response? Supportive, kind, and unexpectedly uplifting. It was the first time she felt truly seen. Her platform became a space not just for skin positivity, but for honesty and healing. "We're just human beings doing our best," she wrote. And now, after years of suffering in silence, Rosie lives fully, visibly, and unapologetically in the very skin she once feared. Number 8. Lucy. Lucy's only 12, but she's already built like a storm, fast, fearless, and rolling through life at her own speed. She was born with spina bifida myelomeningocele, one of the most severe forms. It affects her from the waist down, and she also lives with hydrocephalus, a condition that causes fluid buildup in the brain. But Lucy doesn't waste time on limits. She's been in sports since age 6, basketball, skating, surfing. When she hits the ramps or races the boys at the skate park, she doesn't just keep up, she smokes them. She's taken her fair share of falls and says skating still makes her nervous sometimes. But that never stopped her. Her mom says it best. If I show fear, she'll feel fear. So I just let her fly. Her dream is to go to college on a basketball scholarship. But today, she's dropping into bowls, scoring buckets, and proving every time she moves that courage doesn't come from legs. It comes from heart. Number 7. Jimmy. Jimmy has spent years reshaping his appearance through plastic surgery, and he's not slowing down. From fillers to future facelift plans, he's completely open about his choices. "I've changed the way I look with surgery, and I love it," he told Truly. For Jimmy, this isn't insecurity, it's expression. He knows the comments people make behind his back. "People say I look plastic," he said, "but it's always from people who wish they could look like anything at all." His identity lives in the boldness of his choices, not the comfort of others. In a recent episode of Hooked on the Look, he sat down with friends Aislinn and Becca to share his next procedure. Becca's reaction? Total shock. But Jimmy's unbothered. For him, this isn't some phase. It's a lifestyle, one rooted in creativity and self-curation. Whether you get it or not, he's living by design. Number 6. Ethan Bramble. Ethan doesn't just wear body modifications, he lives them. At just 28, he's already gone through over 40 procedures, earning the title of Most Modified Youth. Based in Melbourne, Australia, Ethan's journey with body art began at age 11. While other kids were picking haircuts, he was planning tattoos. Over time, it escalated: split tongue, blacked-out eyeballs, and even the removal of his belly button. He's not chasing shock value. For Ethan, each modification holds meaning. Every change is a decision, not a stunt. Though he draws attention everywhere he goes, he's not performing for anyone else. It's never been about approval. It's been about freedom. His body isn't a project. It's a reflection of his values, his passions, and his story. Whether it's embraced or rejected by the public, he remains unshaken. He isn't trying to inspire, unsettle, or impress. He's just building a life that feels like his, and living it on his own terms. Number 5. Daniel Browning Smith. Daniel didn't grow up dreaming of records. He just moved differently. Born in Mississippi, he realized he could twist and fold his body in ways no one else around him could. At 4, he flipped off a couch and landed in a pose that looked impossible, but felt normal to him. That was the beginning. As a teen, he trained himself harder. Eventually, he ran away to join the circus, not out of rebellion, but purpose. There, his gift became his identity. Daniel earned 7 Guinness records for contortion. He slid through spaces that seemed physically impossible, twisted limbs in ways that shouldn't work, and turned heads without a single trick, just raw ability. You've seen him in Men in Black 2, in Stan Lee's Superhumans, and on stages around the world. But for Daniel, it's never been about the cameras. It's about curiosity, pushing the body, exploring the edges, and showing that limits often exist only in people who've never tested them. Number 4. Amber Luke. Amber has spent years reshaping the mirror she once couldn't face. At 30, the Australian model has more than 600 tattoos, stretched lobes, surgical modifications, and those infamous blue eyes, tattooed, leaving her blind for 3 weeks. But her story isn't about vanity, it's survival. Diagnosed with clinical depression at 16, she couldn't stand her own reflection. Tattoos became her armor, her reclamation, her voice. "Imagine hating yourself so deeply you can't look in a mirror," she once said. That pain carved her path. She's poured over $70,000 into body modifications, $50,000 on ink alone. People call her unrecognizable, shocking, and extreme. Amber calls herself alive. Every mark is a chapter, every design a scar she chose to wear out loud. Her body isn't a canvas, it's a declaration. She's not hiding, she's healing, and she's keeping going. Number 3. Michelle Lotito. Michelle Lotito didn't eat food the way the rest of us do. In fact, half the time it wasn't food at all. Born in France in 1950, he started eating glass at age 9 and didn't stop there. Nails, metal parts, TVs, bicycles. He turned objects into meals like it was normal. Over 2 years, he even consumed an entire Cessna airplane, piece by piece. He was known as Monsieur Mange-Tout, Mr. Eat-All, and doctors couldn't explain it. His stomach lining was thicker than most, and his body could handle materials that should have torn it apart. Oddly enough, soft foods like bananas gave him more trouble than scrap metal ever did. He drank mineral oil to help the process and washed it down with gallons of water. Audiences were horrified and fascinated. Michelle never claimed to be a miracle. He just said it was something his body could do. He passed away in 2007, but no one has come close to eating life the way he did. Like for real. Number 2. Tyler Parker. They called him the Teen Hulk, and he earned it. At 14, Tyler Parker stood 6 feet tall and weighed nearly 300 pounds. The internet lost its mind. But this wasn't Photoshop or hype. Tyler was the real deal. Born in California, he found his passion early: football. He wasn't just bulking up to look strong, he was building to dominate. A defensive lineman with raw power and discipline beyond his years, he trained relentlessly. And now, in his senior year, Tyler's still steamrolling expectations. College scouts are circling. Offers are on the table. Some critics throw shade, saying he's too short for his position, but the numbers shut them up quick. 60-plus tackles and 4 sacks in a single season. Tyler isn't a trend. He's the future. The size, the work ethic, the mindset, he's built for the long game. And yeah, he's big. Okay, now let's end this with Number 1. Veronica Cider. Veronica could do something no one else could, see farther than anyone in recorded history. Her vision didn't just impress, it made scientists stop and question biology itself. Most people with perfect eyesight can see details clearly from 20 feet. Veronica? That same level of clarity stretched over a mile. Picture someone at the far end of a football field holding up a book. Where others see a blur, Veronica could read the page. Her vision was estimated to be 20 times sharper than normal. In tests, she identified people from more than a mile away, without squinting. She could even pick out tiny details that others needed microscopes for. Her eyes shifted between distances effortlessly, like they were built with their own internal zoom. And she didn't train for it. She didn't seek it. It just was. A strange, natural ability that no surgery, tech, or explanation could replicate. Just pure, raw eyesight, unmatched and unsolved. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.